let me ask an obvious question. How have workers resisted? What, in other words, all workers aren't sheep. They didn't all go along with this decline, happily, passively. Were there pushbacks, and what happened to them?
Well, in Connecticut, and I'll start with the private sector, Connecticut and other states in the, I'm going to scratch my head, early 80s, started agitating for what we called runaway shop legislation. The legislation, as any sort of law happens in this country, never gets you where you want to be. But in Connecticut, legislation got passed that required employers to at least give 60 days notice that they were going to cut you.
Right.
And that happened in a couple of other states, and eventually it wound up in federal legislation. I think it's called the Warren, W-A-R-N Act. Got passed in 88 or something like that. And, again, as I said, with sort of the labor movement buying into the make peace deal in the 40s and 50s, that legislation didn't really solve the problem of workers losing their jobs. They just got advance notice. Yeah. That was one way workers fought back, and it was a way for workers and unions to agitate around the problem.
It's interesting because I just want to underscore what you're saying. So what the workers fought for was an improvement. At least you got 60 days notice. You could plan. You didn't have that story of being told Friday on your way out of the plant that you didn't need to come back on Monday because it was gone. So it was good, but it didn't solve the problem. It was palliative. It made the problem less awful, but it didn't solve the problem.
Correct. And because the problem is, part of the problem is allowing the capitalist economy to do whatever it wants with workers, And I thought of it this morning on the write down, you can compare it a little bit to like a water balloon,
Good, no,
you push it, but it bulges somewhere else.
Right.
And so when workers in Connecticut push here for better wages and benefits, well, the bulge goes somewhere else. And it might be down south, or it might be, Central America or Asia or
right.
Anywhere else except where the balloon is getting pushed.